rankings. How might this impact players coming to the UK from the African continent? Well, I'm pleased to say joining me in the studio to discuss this is a football coach from this part of the world. Good evening, Avambi. How are you doing?
Yes, I'm very fine. Thank you, Dave.
Thanks for
inviting
joining
me
us.
to the BBC radio.
Yes, well, we have you on whenever we have football topics, particularly with an African flavour. So we've talked before about the African Nations Cup and your work as a football coach with grassroots individuals in Derby, from Normanton Park to Premiership clubs.
Yeah.
So what do you make of this story that Greg Dyke thinks there should be a reduction in the number of foreign players from outside the EU playing in the FA Premier League so that the England national team can develop players who've gained experience from playing in the Premier League rather than being ousted by some of the foreign players?
Wow. Thank you to give me the opportunity tonight to talk about this situation. First of all, the story showed that after China, England increased football to the stand where the Premier League is now. Now the decision about the FA to bring only the top 50 players in the Premier League, that means
Players from the top 50 ranked countries,
yeah. So that means players like Adebayo will never, nobody will know who's Adebayo in England if this was before.
So, for example, Adebayor plays for Togo. Togo are ranked outside the world's top 50.
Togo now, Togo is around 180. So
Ranked
Adebayo, the level of a player Adebayo are now will never dream to become a Premier League player then.
But if this rule comes in and people will only be allowed if they play for a top 50 nation, I'm curious, supposing Adebayor plays for a club in Europe, let's say in mainland Europe, say AC Milan, or some other club like that in Italy, because we know Italy has a lot of African players. You've coached there yourself, so you know.
Yeah.
And he scores 30 goals in a season for 3 seasons.
Yeah.
Chelsea, Man United, Arsenal, Liverpool, Manchester City, for example, Derby County, hopefully one day, see his record and say, boy, this guy's good. Wouldn't it be great to sign him? Would that not be unreasonable for him to be denied the opportunity, bearing in mind he's proved himself to be a top striker, and the Premier League and British English fans will lose out seeing a player like that? Or do we take Greg Dyke's point that somebody like Harry Kane, who made his debut for England on Friday night and scored 50 seconds after he came off the substitutes bench, will get an opportunity because the conveyor belt is not clogged up with players who aren't better than Harry Kane, and therefore he deserves his chance?
Okay. Look, the player who scored in a couple seconds in his debut as an English player, how long will it take to have him? How long England take to have one of him? It will take so long time. And this boy been learning from foreigner players, from Adebayo's. He's at Tottenham. There's a lot of foreigner players down there. Where are we changing the rules and just try to stop a grateful talent to come in England? Them players are just natural. They're born like this. They're naturally phenomenal. It's very hard to understand to stop these phenomena around the world to come in the beautiful Premier League. It's shocking. It's just frustrating. I think as England FA themselves, they are doing great job to build the national team, because I'm doing my courses through the FA at the St. George's Park. So in the best, they are doing great to prepare the under 17 to the first team. But is the for my point of view is between under 21 to the first team is a big gap to bring players from under 21 national team to the first team, as the one who scored yesterday in a couple seconds. It's so hard. So I think the FA should think about this situation again, because as you just mentioned, one playing for Milan and scoring a lot of goals, going to the Champions League, Milan v Manchester United, and the guy scored 5 goals, and they win the game. And the Manchester want this player. He come from Togo. He come from Gabon. What gonna happen? What's gonna happen? We need the FA to change this situation, to think about it. I think the Premier League even will go a little bit lower, because they will lose a lot of players. They will just go everywhere around around Europe to play in Germany, in France, in Spain, or in Russia. Is another league starting now. Indian, they're starting the league now. All the players who finish in England now, they go straight away in India to start the league in there. So please, I don't know if somebody from the FA listened this tonight. I'm really pleased to think about this situation again. It is very important. The best football in the world is the Premier League football, and to stop the massive talent to come through the Premier League, this will be a big impact. First, to the English football. Second, to the English national team, because them boys around clubs, they learn from natural players, natural talents. So if they can think about it, we'll be grateful.
I'm intrigued when you say you're doing your coaching badges at the moment at St George's Park. So you are aware of what it takes to become a coach. You're doing that actively. And the gap that you've talked about, getting players from 21 to become internationals, I was reading that compared to Spain and Germany, England has, say, 2,000 coaches, where they have 18,000 coaches. Might that be an issue that needs addressing to help bridge this gap?
Okay, Devon, let me say something. Me, through these courses, football coaching is so hard to become top-class football coach in football world. Now, you need to be very patient to learn, to wait, to understand football, to enter on the system. It is very, very, very hard. So now in England here, the FA built a quality, the best center in the world, St. George's Park, where we are based. There we have a lot of young coaches coming even from abroad. This is something else I would like in England as well. If they can send us around in abroad, I do privately go work in Spain, in France, in Italy. If English coaches, they can go in abroad to learn from them as well, to bring the foreigner skills in England, this will change the situation. Not to stop talent to come in, but to send coaches in abroad to learn from foreigners. That's why I'm not saying England not have a class coaches, but in England less players are